What's going on, guys? Welcome back to TheTranq. So you might be wondering why there hasn't been as many, traditional woodworking videos on my channel lately. The reason for that is the low this morning was negative 17 degrees when I woke up, and this garage is not heated. So right now, during the winter, it's a little tricky for me to do much of the woodworking that I'd like to do. So with that said, I'm just going to be going over a couple of updates things. I picked up some tools this weekend. I wanted to show that and just give a quick update about some smaller projects that I have going on and possibly share about a few upcoming videos I've got going. So let's go ahead and start the video. Okay, so first thing you can see here is the current shop. Basically everything's crammed into this corner here so that the car can be inside during the winter. And so it's pretty, that's what happens. I'm in grad school and I don't have my own shop space, but I'm fortunate to have this, and so I'm very pleased with that. But it is a bummer during the winter when I can't do all the projects I'd like to do. So right now everything's just crammed in here and it's freezing cold. You can even see here's one of the little lidded boxes I was working on before the cold really hit. And so everything's at a pause right now with woodworking projects, and I'm just focusing on some other things, mostly being school. Okay, so that being said, I thought this would be a good moment just to share a bit about what I actually do currently, because some of you may not even know, probably most of you don't, obviously. So right now I'm in grad school. I'm working towards my PhD in mechanical engineering. And so I just started that this fall after graduating in an undergrad in mechanical engineering. So that's what I'm currently doing. Obviously that's really busy. There's a lot of work involved with that. And so trying to balance videos on top of woodworking and everything else I do in life is a good thing, because it gives you a good structured schedule with your day. But it's definitely a lot to keep up with. So right now I've got my qualifying exams this spring, and so I probably won't be able to do as much content creating and projects as I'd like, so I just wanted to give some forewarning about that. With that said, I do have a few projects and things planned, so definitely stay tuned, they're going to be coming, but I just wanted to go ahead and pause there. And then the other thing is, this weekend I was able to get some awesome deals on a few tools that I've been wanting to get. So I'm just going to bring you inside here because it's freezing in here, and I'm just going to show you a few of the cool things I got. Okay, so I thought I'd run through some of the things I got just because I was pretty excited about them, and as soon as it starts warming up here in spring, I'll be able to put these to good use. So recently you've seen I've gotten into turning, and I started with carbide tools, and they work well, and it was, it's a good way to start out because you don't have to learn about sharpening. But I quickly realized I want the cutting action of traditional tools versus sort of the scraping action of carbide tools. So since I was able to pick up a few good deals this weekend, first thing I got here is the spindle gouge. So this is a Robert Sorby spindle gouge. So this one's going to be really great for detail work, whether I'm doing spindle work or any kind of turning in general. The spindle gouge gives you a good bevel to do that with. It's a little narrower at the tip than a bowl gouge. So this is a pretty full-size tool, so I was excited about picking this up. Okay, so the next one I got here is a huge bowl gouge. So this is a full-size 3/8 bowl gouge, so this you can use for roughing out your stock all the way up to turning the interior of the bowl, and pretty much you can make a whole bowl with this from what I've seen. So this is a huge tool. It's going to allow me to do some big work as I progress in my turning, so I'm super excited about this. It seems super well built, it's high-speed steel, so it should work well, and I'm excited to give it a go. Okay, the last one I got here is made by Easy Wood Tools, which they make a lot of great carbide turning tools. And what this actually is, oh, it's really in there. Okay, so what this one is actually a carbide hollowing tool. So if you're doing any sort of large vases or hollow vessels, things like that, which I'm going to be getting into here soon, this is going to be a great tool for that. It allows you to get inside those narrow areas and hollow out the interior. And I went with carbide because I didn't want to mess with sharpening a complicated tool like this that has a bit more of an advanced profile. So that'll be good. And again, it's a pretty full-size tool, and so I'm super excited to get my hands on it and use it on the lathe. Okay, so a few of the smaller things I picked up. I went ahead and tried out some of this Aber. I haven't tried it out yet, but I picked up some of this Abernet sanding discs, and these are supposed to be, they call them dust-free sanding. Basically what they are is sanding discs, but you can see it, the whole thing is sort of this mesh profile, and there's the whole thing is, you know, porous, and so the idea is that the dust can, you know, absorb through the whole material as long as you've got some sort of extractor hooked up. But it's pretty crazy, and I've heard it sometimes tears. I don't know, I'll give that a go when I try it, but it's pretty unique stuff. I thought I'd give it a try. I also went ahead and got one of these Armor Tool hold downs. So this actually, you screw this on here and it goes into your dog holes, like on the new workbench I just built, and it'll allow you to quick release clamp things down to the workbench top. Now of course I have a few hold fast, but there's some things that I can foresee this being useful for that the hold fast can't do. Or not that they can't do, but this might have an edge over them. So I just wanted to give it a try. I haven't used Armor Tool products before, so I wanted to see how they compare to some of the other things I have. So I picked up some Mylan sanding sealer, and just before it got super cold, I was working on a small lidded box that I was going to use some of this on. So I picked some of this up, and it's going to be great for doing some of the finishing on the lathe. And I also picked up this tiny little Woodworker's pocket reference. I thought it had some unique stuff in there, a lot of things about wood grain, fasteners, just various things that might be good to have compiled in a small reference in the shop. So it was like $5, so I thought I'd give it a try and see if I like it. Alright, last things I picked up here are some supplies for some pen turning. I recently started turning pens before Christmas. They're pretty cool, they're easy to do, and they turn out really professional looking. And one thing I think is really cool is you can get these real exotic blanks for them. A lot of these are like half wood and half acrylic, or just all acrylic. So here we've got some Molly Burl with some blue swirled acrylic, and I think they're going to make some really cool pens. I'm really excited to give these a go. And along with them, I just picked up a few pen kits that are going to be useful to have. And I also got some of this. It's not a CA glue. It kind of looks like a CA glue. It's called Fill and Finish, and so I'm often using CA glue to fill small little voids at the surface of my work if there's a little hole or crack or something. But it doesn't take a finish at all if you've ever tried that. This one is at least advertised to do that, so I'm going to give this a go. If it works, I can see myself using it all the time. So those are a few knickknacks I picked up. And if you've seen any of my recent videos, you'll see that I've been recently investing a bit in using sustainers for some of my organization in and around the shop. And there's a reason for that. I really like the workflow with them, how you can access the middle of the stack even when they're all stacked up. And I have a video showing how you do some awesome customization with sustainers. I picked up some of these Sortingers, which are essentially sustainers with drawers in them. And these are super high quality drawers. They have a really nice, if you listen to the locking, it's got a really positive snap on there. It's got tons of room in there to put all sorts of things. There's actually a good chance I'll end up using these inside for some things and not even in the shop, because that's currently where I need a bit of organization. But again, everything can kind of just snap in and out of each other, which is why I really like them. So excited to put these to use. Now I'm currently actually not planning to use these Sortingers out in the garage, because I do need some organization inside, and so I mainly got it for storing a few knickknacks, things that I'm working on, you know, some 3D printing things and smaller projects that I need to have these around, but I don't want them cluttering, you know, the rest of the area. So these are going to be great for that, and eventually when this is cleared out, obviously these will go in the garage, so that's how I plan to implement these currently. So I haven't been able to use any of my tools, power tools, hand tools, that sort of thing. One thing I have been able to do a bit of work with is just taking care of some sharpening that needed to be done, you know, reestablishing some flat backs on some of my chisels and stuff, which is a step I had skipped when I originally got them a couple years ago. I'm going to recommend Rob Cosman's video on sharpening. He goes over a really good method to do this, and he's obviously very experienced, so I'll leave a link for that. One thing that's definitely helped is this TreNQ diamond stone. When you're trying to flatten the backs of chisels and plane blades, you really need something that takes off a lot of material quickly, depending on the quality of the blade you get. So I found this to be a really good investment, and I've been combining that with my 1,000 or 3,000, 6,000 Naniwa stones and a strop, and I can get a razor sharp edge on a chisel that's just going to slice through paper like butter. Okay, so hopefully you can see this, but basically a really key aspect of doing the sharpening process is establishing a well-polished and flat underside, because, you know, a well-sharpened blade is basically the incidence of two polished surfaces, so the back is just as important as the main bevel. So this is what I spent a bunch of time on to get a polished finish on the back here. And the difference between this and what I was using before really is remarkable. You can see here I can just get these controlled feathers, and even on this end grain here I can just get these controlled cuts with very little effort, and this is exactly obviously what you want. And so I'm super happy with how this is cutting and excited to put these to work in the spring. Okay, so that was just a quick overview of some things going on, a few updates. Maybe you don't care, maybe you do, I don't know. I just thought I'd post this because I haven't been able to post too much else. So anyway guys, I hope you stay tuned on my channel. Let's really try and get this channel some growth. I've got a lot of projects planned going forward, and I can see a lot of opportunities coming in the future. So if you enjoyed this, give this a like, leave me a comment, tell me what's going on with you, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.